Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Middle-Aged Gamer Guy here, back for another TNGC. Yes, Duron, let's go. He's like, I can't wait anymore. We've got to start. He was giving a countdown clock. Hello to Duron. Hello to Mia. Duron was in the chat before you, so you've got an excuse. You weren't the first person in for a change, so you're off the hook. You're off the hook. Don't worry. With me, as always, is my partner in crime with all the latest news and all the other bits. It's Mr. David Jones. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, mate. How about yourself?
I am very good. So, as always, because we're never going to break a tradition, what have you been playing in the last 7 days since we last saw you?
I've been playing a few things. I finished off Desperados 3. As I said to you last week, I was right at the very end. So I've done that bit now, finished it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Definitely recommend it to people who like those sort of little strategy games.
Yeah.
Well worth a go. Then I had a look at Oddworld Soulstorm this week because that was free with PS Plus.
Yeah.
So far, I'd say it's just okay. But I'm still kind of getting used to its controls and the way it plays. And I've hit a couple of sort of bits that are sort of difficulty spikes for me. So I'm trying to work out to get through it. So it's an okay game. I'm glad it's part of PS Plus. I haven't paid for it. I've played a bit more of Hitman. Did the second level of the first Hitman, Sapienza, over the weekend. That was good fun. It's a level I fancy going back to and trying some of the other ways to kill people. Because you just when you play, you just keep hearing these bits of dialogue, and it opens up these other options for you that sound quite good. So it's definitely going to be worth revisiting. And then lastly, I did actually have a go at the Resident Evil 8 demo, which was available briefly yesterday. Not yesterday, Sunday on the PlayStation for like 8 hours. But then you can only play it for half an hour.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. And then what we're probably going to talk, well, actually, no, we're not talking about this week. We're probably going to talk about next week. But what's weird is PlayStation have got this as literally an exclusive.
Yeah.
But then you can play a 60-minute demo this coming weekend of one part. Then the weekend after, you can play a 60-minute demo of another part. But then poor bastards like me on Xbox only get a 60-minute demo of both bits combined, slammed together, 7 days before the game comes out.
It was 30 minutes for the PlayStation, so 30 minutes on Sunday in the Village.
Right, so you're
30 minutes this coming Sunday.
And then Xbox slam the 30 minutes together.
That's what you get.
So I am literally going to stream that the weekend when I get it. Oh my God, look at all these, right? I think they're talking about you, Dave. Well, you handsome bugger. Hey, sexy. It's got to be you, because it can't be me.
Oh, I'll take the compliments if you want to go have them.
Yeah. Hey, hello, Demon Angel. Good to see you. No worries. Thanks for the lurk. I am. You're getting all the compliments, Dave. It's not me. Not at all. Thank you to Chelsea. Thank you to Gecko for being here. Good to see you. So yeah. I will stream. I've said I haven't actually announced it, so I'm announcing it now, I guess. One of the Sundays before I finish my Doom Eternal stream, because I've already got 2 more bits to do, finish that. I'm going to play that 60-minute demo live on the channel. So if there's any Resident Evil fans, there you go. Just cleared that up. There you go. And Joran says Hitman is sexy. That means he likes you, Dave.
Cool.
Got to bring that in. Thanks, okay, right, we've confirmed it. Well, yeah. Do you know what? You're going to be spoilt for choice, ladies, because I'll tell you what, our special guest tonight is better looking than me and Dave, I'll tell you that. Yes, so we will be playing Resident Evil 8 demo and then hopefully stream that. Anyway, enough of that shite. Let's get our guest on. Our guest this week is Mr. James Blakeway. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
How are we doing, Paul? All right, mate? Yes. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
That's all right. No problem at all. So, obviously, you've got a lovely little arcade cabinet there behind you. Which is your pride and joy.
It is, mate. It is. That is my absolute little... It's become my... I didn't realise how amazing it would be to have your own little arcade machine at home, available on demand. And it's just... It's the way forward, mate.
It's any particular games that are your favourite on that?
So I'm a bit of a I'm a bit of a classic, so I like the old California games and all that sort of stuff. You know, that's really where I sit at home with my gaming. If I'm honest, I really like going back to the sort of 80s. But recently, I've been revisiting Batman. I've been playing a little bit of Batman recently.
Okay, which ones?
Mate, old school arcade. I can't even remember which actual version it actually is. But
would it have been the film tie-in? The ones that, like that.
It was, mate. Yes, yeah, tied in with the Joker. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Levels and you're trying to rescue the bird through the level and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Been having a little bit of that, and I've gone really, really old school with the Lunar Lander. Can you remember that one from back in the day? The old Lunar Lander that you used to have to control and land it on the pad, just in position. So they're the kind of games you'd probably look at these days and just go, "What is that? What is he doing in 2021 playing something like that?" But honestly, gameplay, amazing, so addictive.
I just got to quickly say thank you, Q, for the raid. Greatly appreciate it. Good to see you, my friend. So what we talked about what you got in your arcade machine. What most recent games have you been playing as well?
Mate, well, modern wise, I'll be honest, I haven't been able to game as much as I'd quite like to. Work keeping busy and all that sort of stuff. But recently, the one that I've been quite heavily into, I suppose, over the last 12 months has been the Call of Duty, the Warzone. So I'm a big Call of Duty head. So, anything that's got the Call of Duty name on, I've probably been following it for about the last 10, 12 years because I went through that whole period where it was just me and the boys 24/7 living our lives on Call of Duty. And I kind of, I think it's a reminiscing thing. You know what I mean? I still go back to it to reminisce that I'm living in those days. But yeah, that's probably the most modern thing I think I've played. That'll be the most recent one, to be fair.
Oh yeah, was it? You've been playing both Cold War and Warzone? Is that?
No, I didn't go down the Cold War route. I didn't go down that Cold War route. I knew that Warzone was going to be the biggie, and I think what they did with that is they kind of revived a little bit of that old school feel of Call of Duty and brought it back. Not so much with the latest one, so I've not gone down that route. To be honest, I'm just sticking with the Warzone for the minute. But to be honest, I need to get back on it, mate. I've not been on it for a little while now.
See,
it's these old school games that are the best. I'm telling you. I've even got the old little Mario gameplay from the 80s.
Oh, proper retro. I think I had one of those.
Yeah, like the proper little original Game Boy, you know.
Nice.
So yeah, I can't get away from them.
Absolute class.
I'm an 80s boy at heart, mate.
Oh, mate. Man after my own heart. Hello to Lady Red and oh god, who else is it? There's a few people coming. Just hello to everyone who's watching right now. For those who are tuning in who have never seen this before, Boss Hoggy, good evening, sir. How are you? Good to see you. Enjoyed your stream this afternoon. Even if I don't play Fortnite, I was happy watching you earlier. So good to see you. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about 9 different games that have come out over this week on all different platforms. We're going to talk about some latest news, and then we're going to have a bit of a discussion about 18 big AAA games. And this is a really funny thing because me and Dave did a 2-parter at the start of the year about like 36 big games that are coming out this year. And nearly every single one of those fuckers has been postponed. So we're gonna have a bit of a game. We're going to turn it into a bit of a game because we're going to talk a bit about each game. And then I want the chat and people to guess when it's been postponed to. And some of them we've got exact dates, and some of them are vague at best. But we'll turn it into a bit of a fun competition later. But we'll get down to the main bit. And Mia says, you already know I'm going to dislike any cyber shit talk. There is what I'm going to tell you now. There is one bit about Cyberpunk, and it is that teeny tiny. Because I am fucking done with that game now. For anyone who didn't know, I finished it last night. It's done. Complete. Not streaming it again. 18 weeks. Done. Finito. Until they bring out the Series X version properly next Christmas. And then I'll stream it again and annoy you, Mia. So there you go. So we're going to crack on with our first game. This was a game that originally came out on Nintendo Switch and literally came out last Thursday. There's quite a few other games that are similar to this, but I quite like it. Oh, yeah, Lady Red. We did actually sit through the 40 minutes of credits for Cyberpunk last night after we finished the game.
Was it worth it? Anything at the end?
Was it No, it wasn't. But we did sit through. And the best bit was the audience stayed with me, and no one went. And I was like, I'm just waiting for the audience to just leave, and then we stuck with it. But yeah, no, it wasn't worth it.
So it wasn't like one of those Marvel movies, mate, where they got the snippets right at the end of it. Last 2 minutes.
We were so hoping, and it wasn't. But there you go. Anyway, but we'll talk more Cyberpunk later, because otherwise Mia will get annoyed with me. So there you go. So here we go. This is our first game we're going to talk about. I like this game. It looks really quirky. This is called Rain on Your Parade. And this came out for Xbox and PC last Thursday. I say it's already out for Nintendo Switch. We're going to have a look at the trailer, and then we'll give our thoughts on the game. And while the chat are watching the game, let us know what you think this might have scored out in the reviews out of 10. Here we go with Rain on Your Parade. So that's what I call How to Be a Bastard Simulator. Anyone who's played games like this, like there's Goat Simulator. I absolutely adore Goat Simulator, but basically it's just you being a complete dick to people. And this is exactly what this game is. Hence why it's called Rain on Your Parade. I love the fact that it's not just rain. You can ruin people's weddings and everything. You can cause thunder and lightning storms. You can all the snow. There's a bit where you can rain cats and dogs, which I think is hilarious. I still don't quite know what the point of the game is, but I think it's just going to be absolute fun. Lady Red says it's like a cloud pooping. And Mia says, I love that. So I'm going to start with you, Dave. Your thoughts on that trailer and what the hell is this game?
I think it looks quite fun. I've seen a few comparisons to people say it's if you like stuff like Untitled Goose Game or Donut County, it's similar thing to that, just mad cap crazy fun. And both those games have gone down well at home here. Daughters like them, so I might download it for her. Yeah, and I'll play it with her. And I guess we'll just cause as much chaos if we can get, I don't know, what, 5-star rating per town from what I could see in that trailer.
Looks like it, yeah. This is the thing, as you just brought up, Untitled Goose Game, brilliant game, but you're basically a goose that's being a dick to people. And then Donut County, which I've played and loved, is basically where you're a raccoon that makes giant holes that swallows up the town, basically being a dick to people. So these games are really, really, really popular because you can basically just dick over people. It's fantastic. But yeah, great for kids because they don't understand the underlying concept. They just think it's fun and it's cartoony. So, that's great. James, your thoughts on this?
Do you know what? Watching that, I mean, like you, it's a little bit confusing. I don't get what the game really is. But having said that, here was my take. It's kind of like almost like a mix of a Grand Theft Auto and can you remember when Mario stepped into the 3D realm and it created Mario World? It's almost like a modern day kids version of Mario World on a GTA basis level, isn't it? Sort of, go around and annoy people and just piss on everybody's bonfire, basically. Do you know what? I was actually down with that, mate. It looks good. Yeah. I reckon my little girl would get well into something like that, to be honest.
I think it'd be great, but I definitely want to play this. Chat, let us know. I mean, Mia said it should get 1,000 out of 10 already, just for the concept. Let us know in the chat what you think this scored. For anyone who's not seen this before, I try and get as many reviews from across the internet and try and average it and get an average score out of 10. So I'll start with you, Dave. What do you think this got out of 10 for Rain on Your Parade?
I'm going to guess an 8 for this one. It looks like good, clean fun.
Okay, you're saying 8. Lady Reddy's saying a 7 out of 10. James, what do you reckon?
Do you know, it could be one of because I didn't see much gameplay, I don't think, in there. I think a lot of it was sort of just, the advertisement stuff. So I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go with 7. I'm gonna go with Lady Red on this one.
Okay, all right. Well, you were right to do that because it gets a pretty good 7 out of 10. Most of the reviews said it's great fun. If you don't like these type of games, don't play it. So, but if you play, it's funny that again, if you play stuff like Goose Game, Donut County, Goat Simulate, you know exactly what you're getting, and you're gonna love it. Mia says I'll give it a 10 anyway. So there you go. So I think it's generally good fun. You will probably get a couple of hours out of it, and it's great fun. If you get it on PC and Xbox, it's free on Game Pass. So there's a bonus. You can get this on Game Pass now, ladies and gents. Unfortunately, if you got it on a Switch, you got to pay for it. But it's been out a couple of months on the Switch. I think it came out November, December, sorry. So if you got it on Switch, you could buy it. So that's Rain on Your Parade, which came out Thursday last week on PC and Xbox. Gets a 7 out of 10. Our next game is a game that also was another game. There's quite a few. There's a theme here. Was, I believe, also on the Switch, but is also now a sequel. This actually came out Wednesday last week. This is Night Squad 2. This definitely looks very chaotic. So check this out. Here we go.
Three, 2, 1, go! So much action! Whoa! So many game modes. Holy shoot! Boom shakalaka! Time to squad up. Night Squad 2.
So you go. That's Night Squad 2, which is out on Switch, Xbox, and PC. That basically is a combination of lots of different games. Great online thing, and you can play it cross-play across all 3 platforms at the moment. But yeah, lots of different modes. The best way to describe this is, if you remember, it's a bit like Bomberman, some of the levels. Then there's like Mad Football levels. And then the other thing is, if you go back to the days of the Atari 2600, I don't know if you might have this on your arcade cabinet, tank, where you have the little tank going round and you had the little obstacles and you had to shoot the bullets at each other, so shoot each other. So it takes all different elements of games. James, I'm going to start with you. Would this be your kind of thing as well?
Mate, I'm already sold. The one thing that I was almost put off by with that little selfie that they threw in there, do you know what I mean? Right at the beginning, about 3 seconds in. But I get it. It's that day and age. Mate, 100%. That looks like the kind of... I'll tell you what that is for me. Yeah, it's not one that's got longevity to it. So I won't be playing that in 6 months' time. I'd binge that like a Netflix show. Right?
Yeah.
But it's got everything in there, hasn't it? A little bit of Tetris, like you say, a little bit of Bomberman, a little bit of... It looked... really interesting. That lots of stuff going on.
Yeah, plenty of modes to play, and if, as you say, if you've got plenty of online friends or friends in general, I think it'll keep you entertained. It's a good one to get out when you get a load of mates over. When we can have people in houses.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm down for that, mate. Yeah, we'll all come around yours, Paul. We'll all come around yours, and we'll do a live stream from there.
Right, we're having it. Middlecon in my backyard.
Socially distanced, of course.
Yeah, socially distanced, but we're going to get shit-faced. So, yeah. Dave, what do you think about this?
I think it looks good fun. As you've already mentioned Bomberman, and that's what I thought of when I first saw the style of it. I can remember playing that back on the SNES, like good 4-player, blast on that. Absolutely brilliant fun. So I think this will scratch that same itch. And all those different game modes, I think there's something for everyone in there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so hopefully if lockdown does come to an end soon, yeah, we'll all come round yours, mate. Get that on the go. If it doesn't, and they decide to carry it on, we'll just do it online instead. Got that option.
Screw it. Or if I just want to be a Grinch and don't want to allow anyone in my house whatsoever, I'll just make you play it online anyway.
You miserable bugger.
You know, I've got so used to lockdown. Anyway, but yeah.
You're in the comfort zone now.
Yeah, I've become a gaming nun. I don't go out anywhere, but I just
You've become like that guy in Game On that you see. You remember that TV series back in the 90s, Game On, and he'd never leave the apartment.
Yeah, who literally burst out crying if he got down the stairs.
Absolutely, yeah. I reckon I've got a few friends who's become like that actually through lockdown.
No, I don't want to go outside. No, I go outside. Kicking and screaming, chuck him in the back of a van and drive off. Okay, so what do we reckon this got score-wise? I will start with James on this one.
So it's a score. I don't reckon it's going to have scored that high. I'm going to go an 8 on this one, though. I think this was a little bit better gameplay-wise, I reckon. So I'm going to go an 8.
Okay, Lady Red's going for an 8. Mia's going for a 6. Dave, what do you reckon?
I'll go in between those ones. I'll go for 7.
Okay, cool. This is what's really funny about this one is Dave went for the higher score and was wrong last time. James has gone for the higher score and he's wrong because it's 7 as well. This gets another 7. It's really bizarre. There is a running
7s.
Yeah, well, you're going to see there's a running theme with this. Some of these games. I'm not saying all of them.
I'm going to go for a 7 for the next.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that, Dave.
Okay, but we'll see how we go. There is a few that might trip you up, but yeah, there's quite a lot of 7s mixed in there, not giving things away. But there you go. So Night Squad 2 out on Switch, Xbox, PC, came out last Wednesday. It's not free on Game Pass, folks. So if you want to play it, you've got to go out and buy it right now. But that came out last Wednesday. Time to talk a bit of gaming news. So all you PlayStation fans out there, PS5, as of the 15th, last Wednesday, had its big update. And there's quite a few things that have happened to the console. And a lot of them for the better. There's obviously a lot of graphical improvements and stuff, and I'll let Dave talk about that as to sort of. I don't know more than 4K, but apparently there's lots of different options now for bigger and better displays and stuff. I believe now that you can access from that update, but also the fact that they've actually finally getting the share play thing going, which is quite a cool little unique thing. And probably the biggest thing, but it's not as good as it sounds, is you can finally store games onto a USB stick. You can finally put them on a PlayStation, and they don't have to be Sony-only products. They can be any type of hard drive or USB. However, folks, if you want to play the game, you still have to put the USB in and send the game back to your hard drive to be able to play it. It's only if you want to save space, because we've been hearing lots of problems about PS5s having pretty much frig all space on it. So rather than having to delete it completely, you can shift it over to there, take the USB out, and then you can copy it back over. Not great, but it's a start. Dave, your thoughts on some of these things that rolled out last week?
I say it's nice to have the option to shove the PS5 stuff off to some of the external storage that you've probably already got. Probably Lowe's was brought out huge USB hard drives to put this stuff on. And as you say, I think the PS5 internal disk is only about 625 gig, which isn't much, not with today's size, especially when you've got like Call of Duty on there. That would take a vast majority of that, no question. Yeah. So it's nice to be able to like shove the stuff out the way and not have to just delete it, re-download it, which is always a pain in the neck. So it's nice to finally added that. It's taken a bit of time. You were talking about stuff they've added for other display options. The main one for that is just, I think it's 120 hertz support if you're using a 1080p PC monitor. So it just gives you those higher frame rates if your monitor supports it, which again is nice for the software that will let you do that. There's a few other bits and pieces, like it'll let you turn off HDR if the game doesn't actually support it. So your TV's not flicking into that mode necessarily. Yeah. And the one thing it started doing now, which I need to turn off, just keeps pissing me off, is that if we turn the TV on to the HDMI channel, it will just automatically turn the PlayStation on. So even if I don't want it on, it will still turn itself off. I keep finding the bloody things in rest mode, and I'm thinking, I don't ever turn that on recently. Because I've got to go hunting through the menus to find that and turn it off. Stop it doing it.
James, you're a PlayStation guy.
I'm not, mate. I'm an Xboxer like you. I'm still. I haven't upgraded just yet. I'm still on the Xbox One. Yeah, and mate, I'm on day one release Xbox One. Right?
Oh, bloody hell.
Believe it. It didn't. You know, no ring of death, none of that sort of nonsense. So it just proves that some of them do work if you look after them.
Yeah.
Although it's got a few 10p pieces now in the hard drive that my little ones have shoved in through the slot, so they grab their back a little bit, and it still works amazingly. Yeah, I mean, it's a funny thing. This thing of memory is, you know, I am a Call of Duty player. Mate, these patches that are coming out in games now are huge. So, you know, it's an interesting thing because a lot of these games manufacturers, they're making awesome machines, but they're giving like an afterthought to almost like the storage capacity. So, yeah, you know, it's about time, I'd say, that PlayStation brought something in where you can actually use any kind of device to store it off to. I think that's well overdue, to be honest. But as for the hertz and the frame rates, mate, that's all Dave, is that? So
yeah, same here. It means I don't know anything. That's why I say it's Dave's.
It looks good.
Yeah. He's covered that. We're fine. We can move on. But it's the thing we've talked about this before. We've talked about many things actually to do with the PlayStation. Now they've shot themselves in the foot. PlayStation 4 had this same issue, and then they didn't get the external drives out until well after. You think they would have learned their lesson with the PS5? They haven't. They have done this now to make it better. But again, we were also reporting about the fact that a couple of months ago, if you tried to if you get all the patches, you cannot physically put Warzone and Cold War on the same console. And that means you would only have 1.5 games, and that would fill the whole of the PS5. So you can't even play one of those games, which is just absolutely shocking. But they have recently done a thing where they've shrunk the patches and shrunk the games down now. So they're rolling that out. So you will be able to play more than just one Call of Duty game on a PS5 now, thank God. But it is ridiculous how they've been a bit... You think they learn from the mistakes from that one. And I am PlayStation bashing because I always fucking PlayStation back.
Xbox rocks, we all know that.
Yeah, Xbox rocks. Well, you know, they made that mistake. Why do it again? You know, it's better. But at least they're trying to make it right. They're doing something that at least is going to be less hassle. So there you go. A couple of people I want to say hello. So hello, for being here. Hello, Discord. Hello, Joker Girl. Good to see you all. Thanks for tuning in. So let's move on to some more games. We'll be talking a lot more PlayStation stuff in tonight's show. It's very PlayStation. So I'm not a complete PlayStation basher. But we'll talk about some other stuff that's happened and some interesting developments with PlayStation as well. But we'll move on to some new games. Now, this game, I'm going to tell you in advance, there is no review score for it because technically it's in beta or beta, however you want to say this. So there you go. Joker Girl, just popping in mad quick. I've got to get ready. Oh, for your COVID shot. Oh, they're reading the verdict of George Floyd. Oh, bloody hell. So it's a big day over in the States. Well, good luck with your jab, Joker Girl. It's good to see you. Thanks for popping in. And hello, Moonlight. Good to see you. And Limbo, bloody hell, they're all coming out. In and out. See you all soon. Peace, Limbo. Is good. I had a phone call with him earlier. Just chatting. So he'll be back soon, bless him, Limbo. Sailing on the 7 seas, is he, that fella? So we're going to talk about a game. And this is a game that's mainly out for Xbox. It is in a beta phase for PlayStation as well. It's for people who want more realistic war games. This is Enlisted. I'm going to play the trailer for this and we'll have a chat. As I say, we could not get any review scores for this, so you don't have to worry about that, but we are going to discuss the game. Let's have a look at the trailer and we'll give our thoughts and opinions on this one. This is Enlisted. There you go, folks. That is Enlisted. Mr. Paul Newton, how you doing, sir? Good to see you. We've officially got Four and Royalty in the building. There he is. How you doing, Mr. Newton? Oh, I even love his little thing. That's amazing. Yeah, this is on the next gen Limbo, and I'm going to say this now. I was actually watching someone stream this game today, just to kind of get a feel for it. It is more Battlefield than Call of Duty, but it looks exactly like that. That's the thing. It looks exactly like that. So when the bombs and shit are all going off, it just mud going in your face and shit, and it really throws you off. Also watched him drive some of the tanks, which was quite interesting. And again, that reminded me of Battlefield. The plane stuff, though, looked really funny because it looked really hard to control. And I think in the stream, I'm not going to say who was streaming, they crashed the plane every time because it was just so difficult to control. But they just kept laughing about it. You go, well, this is insane. There you go. Paul Newton says, good, mate. Bloody love your guest.
Hi, Paul. Good to see you, mate. See, you didn't know you were bringing my own fan club on here as well, mate.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Newton's a bit of a legend on here because not only has he been a guest on this show, but he features every so often on Sea of Thieves when we stream that. And he's also started streaming himself, bless him, which I gladly watched him. So he has got his own catchphrase, which is stuff. So if you don't know what that's about, you should go and watch his streams that he does. It's quite funny. So there you go. Shout out to you, Mr. Newton. So yeah, I'm going to start with Dave. Yeah, there you go. There it is. The catchphrase of the century.
Stuff.
Yeah.
It'll be on t-shirts next, won't it?
It is. Yeah.
And mugs and clocks.
You know, he's just going to follow in my footsteps. There you go. He'll have a little dog next as well. So there you go. Mia says hi, Paulie, as well. It's quite Mia plays with us as well. So there you go. So, Dave, your thoughts on this? I'll start with you, sir.
I thought it looked very nice. Yeah, it does look next gen graphics wise in the trailer. And you say if it looks like that when you're actually playing, awesome. I'd hope it's a decent game to play. I mean, I can only really compare to the Battlefields which I've played in the past. Those are always good, you know, different to Call of Duty, a bit more slower paced. The one thing that's always a bit tricky with these big online games is if you were to go and enjoy it now, are you actually going to have a good time playing it, or are you going to spend most of your time getting shot, respawn, and so on until you start getting the hang of it or leveling up and getting better weapons? It's also a thing that can be tricky with these games. Hopefully it's got a good sort of matchmaking so you don't get paired with people who are just, you know, been playing it for 24/7 for weeks and they're just, you know, too good at it now.
See, now from the streamer that I was watching, it's the first time he played it. He got killed quite a lot, but he also got quite a lot of kills in. It seemed quite equally balanced. As I said, he found driving the vehicles absolutely near impossible. But he was doing a bit of sniping or a bit of just running around with a gun. There was one funny moment where a guy had shot him like in the shoulder, and he was like, "Damn, someone's got me!" And then the guy came over the hill and he shot him in the kneecaps and killed him. So
nice.
like got his own. It was just like ha on your ass. So it seems pretty fluid. And in the 2-3 hour stream I watched, there was no crashes, which hopefully serves as a good. I mean, that's obviously only a snapshot, but we'll have to see. But yeah, definitely more Battlefield than Call of Duty. James, your thoughts on this?
Mate, yeah, absolutely, 100%. That's right up my alleyway. Is that, you know, I think on console there's two types of games that really, because it's, you know, when you play the console, it's about immersing yourself in the experience. You know, playing on an arcade is like a quick game and that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's all about the experience, and I think that these kind of war games, they really bring that into your room. Do you know what I mean? Like they've got, you know, this is why shock controllers were invented, the original GoldenEye and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And you know, the rumble pack that you used to plug in. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. These kind of games are really all about that experience. And I think that is definitely something I'll be checking out. It looks awesome, not just from a graphics point of view, but I'd love to check out the gameplay on that.
Yeah. It's you can pretty much get it. I think there's a full paid version that you can buy as of last week, but the beta's been out for pretty much about 2 weeks. So if you want to go and try it, the beta is free. And then there is a PlayStation beta coming very soon. So go check it out, Enlisted. We haven't got any reviews for it because technically it's a beta, but I thought it was worth mentioning because it pretty much came out of nowhere, to be honest.
I've not even heard of it. Never heard of it until you just showed it.
I literally, the first I heard of it was Thursday last week, and it had been around for a couple of weeks. So it's definitely worth checking out. Now, 2 games that you never thought you'd ever hear the things put together. Going back to the classic arcade games, Pac Man, and then Battle Royale. Never thought we'd ever hear that. But this is exactly what you're getting with the new game that's come out on Switch, which came out. It's actually came out on Wednesday, the 7th of April. So it's been a couple of weeks. If you've got Nintendo Online, the online shop, you can get this for free. So this is a free game that's come out, but it might be a limited time thing, a bit like the Mario 35 thing that we saw that came out. So this is, and all will become clear from the trailer because they actually explain this in this trailer very well. This is Pac Man 99. I shit you not. Here we go.
Compete against the Pac in the online Battle Royale game, Pac Man 99. This game is available as a special offer for Nintendo Switch Online members. To win, you'll need to be the last Pac-Man standing. If ghosts are closing in on you, grab a power pellet to chomp them. Any ghost you chomp will be sent to attack other players as Jammer Pac-Man. This also works the other way around. Bump into one and your movement speed will drop, so watch out. The key to victory lies in sleeping ghosts. If you chomp these stationary, slumbering specters, they'll multiply and form a ghost train. Grab a power pellet, then get ready for an all-you-can-chomp ghost buffet. By pulling this off, you'll overwhelm opponents with a ghostly nightmare. But that's not the only tool at your disposal. Make use of 4 power-ups to gain an advantage, like one that doubles your movement speed. You also have 4 targeting options, such as Knockout, which targets opponents on the verge of losing the game. Use these power-ups and targeting options to be the last Pac-Man chomping in the end. Become the best of 99. The Pac-1. Pac-Man 99 launches April 7th as an exclusive offer for Nintendo Switch Online members. And if you're looking for a nostalgia trip, optional paid DLC packs containing classic Namco themes and offline modes will also be available at launch.
So there you go. That is Pac Man 99, which is a free game. Obviously, if you want all the extra levels, because there's a load of skins that you can get. You saw like Dig Dug and Galaxian. There's a load of that. Paul is like, part of me wants to hate this, but part knows I'm going to play. So
he's nailed this.
Yeah,
Paul's nailed this.
This is the thing. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, go on.
No, you go, because I think
I'll just say, when I was watching that, so obviously I'm an 80s nostalgia guy, do you know what I mean? I love that old school stuff. There's 2 sides. I'm conflicted on this one. You know, they've am I right in thinking they've made Pac Man multiplayer? That's what they've done there.
Yeah,
they've basically made it more. And I think the problem we've got here, is you've got a whole crew of the classic heads who are really going to hate the fact that they've touched a classic, right? So that's that side of me. Yeah, but I am actually interested to explore that one and see what they've done. My worry, in all honesty, is that they've ruined some of the gameplay by trying to introduce these new concepts. That's what I'd be worried about. You know what I mean? But looks interesting. But yeah, very conflicted. I think Paul's nailed it.
Yeah, if anyone who wants to just play a normal game of Pac Man, you don't want to play this. Because what's interesting is when I first saw this trailer, it's like how to play. I was like, I don't need to know how to play Pac Man. And then within 10 seconds, I was already like, oh, that's different. And oh, that's different. And oh, that could really dick you over. And there was a lot of new mechanics in it. And just like they did with Tetris, they did a version where you can not loads of people playing Tetris at the same time. And the more blocks you clear, the more you send to other people to make it more difficult. Exactly the same concept here. But they've added the thing that you've got the ghost ones that won't kill you, but will slow you down. So the other ghosts get to you. And then the fact you've got the other sleeping ghost, which if you make a chain will completely ruin other people's games. There's a lot of strategy going into that. Dave, your thoughts on this?
I thought it looked good fun. I mean, as you say, you probably got a lot of nostalgia. People who are looking at it think, not going to play that, they've ruined it. But you've got the original game. You can play on various other formats already. So it's quite nice they've got this version that's perhaps might appeal to more of a modern audience that would look at the older Pac Man without our nostalgia and just go, "Fuck's that." Go around collecting dots, chasing ghosts, bag of shit. But you've got these extra mechanics here, the extra like battle royale stuff we're all used to as a modern audience. It might get them to play it, and then they might go and play the original game as well to see what it was all about and get into it that way.
That's a great point, is that, Dave, to be fair, actually. It's opening it up to a whole new generation. And I suppose from that point of view, you can't really argue with the fact. It's just, like I say, it's whether they've got that gameplay right. The thing about Pac Man, it was kind of legendary because of the gameplay. Do you know what I mean? It is. It's one of those games that just sucks you in and you're so addicted. And plus, it's become such a sort of synonymous symbol with all the old school nostalgic games and stuff.
So it's one of those most recognisable ones, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah.
So what do we reckon this is going to get? Mia gives it a 7. I mean, you've got to remember that this is totally free for the foreseeable future. They might take it off the store. They did that with, as we mentioned, the Mario 35 thing. But, what do we reckon? Anyone else in the chat wants to have a guess what this game has been scored out of 10? James, I'll start with you.
I'm being swayed by the fact you said there was loads of 7, but I also remember you saying there were some curveballs in here. I think because of that fact that there are going to be so many nostalgia heads out there, I think this is going to take in a bit of a hammering on the rating front. So I'm going to go a bit lower. How low? I don't know. I'm trying to keep my personal opinions out of it. I'm going to go a 6. I'm going to go a 6 on this one, I think.
Okay. Dave?
I think I'll try going a little bit higher. I'll try going for an 8.
Okay. So no one believed me when I said most of these were going to be a 7 because he got a 7 out of 10.
Well, we got other ones to go through.
I try and help you. And you just... Yeah,
is that the obvious answer, isn't it? So now we're trying to be clever and strategize around it.
Well, you said most stuff. We've still got 5 more to go.
That's true. But you're overthinking it. All right.
I'll take it back. I'm going to guess 7.
Oh, congratulations. You got it right. And James, what did you say? Was that a 7 as well?
It was definitely a 7, mate. It was definitely
James, 7 all round.
You hit the nail on the head. You both said 7 out of 10. You got it perfectly right. There you go. Now I've got to edit that out when that goes on YouTube. Never mind. But there you go. Yeah, 7 out of 10. People say it's perfectly decent fun. Again, for you, the people that have got this, it is that point. The people who love the nostalgia of it may be a little bit like about it, but they did say it is very. Once it's grabbed you, you're going to want to keep playing it. But again, a bit like some of the other games we've said, it ain't going to have that longevity. You'll play it so many times and then you'll be like, on to the next thing.
Yeah, Pac Man always was. It was kind of like the bandits at the pub, wasn't it? It was nice to play for a quick little blast while you were there or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, they've gone to change the barrel. So you wait, right, all right, I'll have a go on that. And then your pint's ready.
Absolutely.
So there you go, folks. That is Pac Man 99, which is free if you've got Switch Online. And it came out on Wednesday the 7th. A little bit more news now before we move on to our next games. So Ubisoft has announced that it is shutting down some online servers on potential games. Now, don't worry, don't panic. It's nothing within like the last fair few years. They've basically announced that some games like Ghost Recon Future Soldier, if I've got that right, which I don't even remember that game. And Rainbow Six Vegas, which I do remember, and Rainbow Six Lockdown. They're going to have all the online multiplayer and everything stripped out. But and that's mainly for consoles. But the biggest thing is for PC, because they've announced certain games. There's about 10 games. I'm only going to mention a few of them. But Assassin's Creed 2, all online support is going, even though that didn't have a multiplayer feature, but online support. Prince of Persia and Far Cry 2. Now, they've said games that don't have multiplayer, they just won't have online support. And obviously, the old Ubisoft Connect scheme where you used to earn points for stuff in games is also being scrapped because they've obviously got, what's it called? Ubi Play or whatever the hell it's called now?
I think that's right, isn't it?
Ubi Play, maybe it is Ubi Play. I don't know. Who cares? It's there. It exists. Check it out. Google it. You'll find it. It's, so they've basically stated that, well, we're getting rid of that. Is it any surprise that most of these games are like 10, even years, even older than that? There's no point in keeping the servers running, is there? Dave, I'll start with you.
Well, at the end of the day, it just costs money, doesn't it, to keep the services running for these? And if people aren't using it and the company aren't making money off it, they're just going to close them down. Yeah. Plain and simple as that. No money in it, why bother? It is a bit of a shame because you usually find there's some dedicated communities who still love playing these. They probably are like the Rainbow Six Vegases. I don't know about some of the other ones, but they probably can't do it on console, but probably at least on PC. Some people find a way to sort of keep the multiplayer going. Whether Ubisoft would release anything to allow them to do that easily, or whether someone will just go in and root through the code and figure out a way to do it, I don't know. But PC gamers usually do. They find a way to do it.
Always do. They always crack with something. I mean, a lot of those games also, some of them are very single player games anyway, so it's not going to make a lot. I mean, look at Prince of Persia and Far Cry 2. Doesn't really make much difference.
Yeah, Jake. I was looking at the list and I had Splinter Cell Conviction and I couldn't really think what was in that multiplayer wise. Was there anything? Or was it just linking up to Ubisoft for points and crap like that?
Yeah, I think it mainly was because they didn't even bring multiplayer in till Far Cry 3. And even then it wasn't the multiplayer it was a completely standard. I mean, you and me played it going back donkey's years where it was a completely separate story thing and 4 of you went basically stormed an island and that was it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, see? So, yeah, it's there's those kind of things. But, James, your thoughts on it? Do you think it will make much difference and people will carry on playing them?
Yeah, no, I mean, Dave nailed it. What you tend to find is the people who are hardcore enough will create the communities, won't they? The PC gamers and stuff like that. They'll find a way to keep it sort of going if they really want to. But, someone always will. But, yeah, it's inevitable. Do you know what I mean? Games, services, it's like you say, it's a commercial thing, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So if there's no money there to be had, they're not going to keep it running and costing. They may as well send everybody £5 in the post sort of thing, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. And I don't think, as Dave says, the PC players, I don't think the console players will be too fussed because a lot of the games that they've stated there are mainly single player. As Dave said, with the PC stuff, they'll find a way to do it, even if they end up doing bloody LAN connections, getting all the PCs together. Because, mate, you go to gaming shows and they do. There's a whole area for LANs.
Yeah, so exactly. It's going to carry on. It will still be happening. Do you know what I mean? It will just move to a little more bespoke area of the sort of internet, won't it?
Yeah, that's cool. Right, moving on. More games. This is a remaster. I vaguely remember this. I think it was much loved on PlayStation, but it's come out for PlayStation 5. PlayStation 4. Stand corrected, and Switch and PC. This came out on Thursday last week. This is Sag Frontier Remastered. We're going to have a look at the trailer. Let us know your thoughts in the chat, and we'll see if this floats anybody's boat. Here we go. Now, the funny thing is, it says summer 2021, but it actually came out last week. So, yeah,
have you not noticed, mate? It was summer last week. We're back into spring again now.
Well, that's true. Yeah, so that 1 week, hence why Wednesday last week was summer 2021.
It was there.
There you go. Blink and you'll miss it. Welcome to England, people. So, yeah, I vaguely remember these games. Never played them. I can't tell you much. If you love RPGs, I think you love it. There's elements of Zelda games. There's element of Final Fantasy in there. Dave, with your knowledge, does this ring any bells?
This one I didn't remember. So when I was looking up online earlier, it came out originally 1998, the original one.
Jesus,
so
right.
it is a very old one. I must have just gone past me completely back in the old PlayStation 1 days. It was never a genre that I ever really looked into anyway. I never got into the JRPGs, the turn-based combat. I tended to play like Zelda on the Nintendo instead. That was my sort of type of game, that sort of adventure game on those. I can't say watching that trailer this would pull me into it. Yeah. But I'm sure that if you're old enough to remember the original release and you played it, you'll probably get loads of nostalgia from this and you'll want to go back and play it. And there's also people who just love JRPGs, all these modern ones. So it might be a good one to go back to, because if it's much beloved, a good example of the genre, it's probably worth going to check out.
Okay. All right. James, what do you think of this?
Yeah, again, like you guys, I can't remember that at all from, even me thinking back and if I was to look through that, is it on there? I couldn't even tell you, to be honest. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's an interesting game, actually. I mean, it is something that I would play. I'll be honest. It's the kind of thing that I would play. But I play it, and after 15 minutes, I'd decide whether I was going to continue playing it or just bin it off. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of one of them, and I think that depends on how easy it is to get past the first boss level or something like that. Do you know what I mean, or whatever? No, I mean, it looks interesting, but it's clearly the older. It's got a lot of that nostalgic feel to it, hasn't it? Because it's a remaster. So yeah, I can imagine that there's going to be some people out there that are going absolutely nuts at the idea that this is being remastered and come back out. There's probably a good 500 or so in the queuing up right now in Japan to buy it out of the store or something. But yeah, no idea, never seen it. So it's but yeah, looks okay.
Cool. What do we reckon this got score wise?
I'm going with that 7. I'm going with that steady 7.
James is going with a 7. Dave, what do you reckon? I
think I'll go with a 7 as well, mate.
Going with a 7. Okay. Let's
all go with a 7. Everyone in the chat as well can go with 7.
Everyone in chat just type 7. Why not? You might as well. Just a couple of things. Discord, thank you for that. I'll explain what that is in a minute. In a couple of minutes. Paul Newton says we should have a LAN networking event. I'm up for that. We could play the original Doom LAN networking.
Oh, now we are talking.
We'll bring our PCs round your garden, mate.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we could actually make that happen as well, Paul. We could make that happen.
We could, couldn't we? I've got all the big screen kit and the sound kit, and you got all the. Yeah, with this, I could see this happening. I need to tell the wife that we're having a festival in the back garden. How do you think?
It's gone from having a couple of mates round to. Oh, it's all right. We're within the 30 limit.
We're in the 30 limit, but what we got is 30 people coming every 30 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've just got about 5,000 people from the internet coming round. Is that all right? Jesus. Yeah. Oh, God. Paul Newton says I have to stop talking now. I've had 2 great thoughts in one evening. Don't get me into trouble.
Best lie down and have a rest then.
Yeah.
Magical, that, isn't it?
Magical. Right.
Magical.
So, do you want to know the score for this one?
Go on.
Come
then.
on. It's a 7, isn't it?
It is a 7.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah. You know, it's a 7. It is actually a 7. No joke. Perfectly decent remaster. They've done a good job on all platforms. As I say, out on PS4, Switch, PC, and was out Thursday last week. If you want to go check it out. Now, a game that's caused a little bit of controversy, but not in the way that you think. It's actually pissed off a lot of PlayStation owners because this was a PlayStation exclusive. However, this year, they finally put it onto other platforms. So it came out, this literally came out today on PlayStation 4 and 5, but the kick in the arse is it's out on Xbox One and Series S and X on Game Pass free. So for a long running, I think 8-9 years now, it's been on PlayStation. You have to pay for it. If you're still on PlayStation, you're going to have to pay for it. Sucks to be you, because you can get it free on Xbox.
You've been dying to say that, haven't you?
I have, indeed. But saying that, I'm gonna quite openly say I would never play this, but I know people would love this. This is MLB The Show 21. Gonna have a look at the trailer. Let us know your thoughts in the chat, and we'll be right back after this. Here we go.
Figure the pace, I'm about to chase money in case, clean up base. Figure the pace, I'm about to chase money in case, clean up base. Got a call for it if you got it. Ain't no stopping on the go. Got a call for it if you got it. Going live, going in the show. Figure the pace, step on the deck. We need to stretch. Run the truth, playing it cool, like I'm sweet. Get in the zone, pick up a drone, I'm on the base. Pumping on phone, and body up home, and show me who gets. Playing the field, looking like slide, guidelines, ride like Dion on prime time. I'm 0 to him, I run down when I settle in, I break ground. Feel the bass when you not around. Golden glove with a triple crown, I raise the ring cause I hold it down. I'm about to chase money in case, clean up base. Got a call for it if you got it. Ain't no stopping on the go. Got a call for it if you got it. Going live, good in the show. Nigga the first. 2 scene ain't enough. One top team is us. Man on first, on second, on third. I'ma have to clean it up. I done went yard, they all gone. The alien beamed it up. That contract, they want me back. I'ma have to clean it up like Midway Wall. Really feel fine. Worry about talking, just my time. I got my swing right, that's the green light. That's just my sign. Just what the ring like. If you missed out, better press rewind. I'm just a hot like Rio. To do what I do, take speed. I'm about to chase money in case. Clean up base. Pick up the face. Pick up the face.
And as you can tell, just to rub it in, I played the PlayStation version trailer as well, just to put the icing on the cake. So yeah, MLB, Major League Basketball, just in case anyone didn't know. Yeah.
Baseball,
Yeah.
surely.
Yeah, baseball, Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Been, as I say, an exclusive for PlayStation for all these years. Finally comes out and then really pisses Sony off by Xbox going, yeah, it's on Game Pass as of Tuesday the 20th. There you go. Enjoy. What can I say? It's a very much loved baseball franchise. If you're into those kind of games, I'm sure you'd love it. Not my kind of thing. I'm going to totally tell this. I would probably never play this ever. But I'll go with Dave. Your thoughts on this?
Well, just looking at the trailer, I mean, graphics-wise, it's a lovely looking game around, isn't it? Looks pretty decent, but it's not my sport, really. Not one that interests me at all. So even though it's free on Game Pass, I'll just skipping straight past it. But
Yeah.
I'm sure for like probably most of the American market, and probably if you dotted around the rest of the world, they'll have a reasonable size following. But it's a bit of a kick in the teeth for the PlayStation, isn't it? They've got I think it starts off 50 quid over there for them. we're looking at Xbox, you bastards.
Yeah. Oh dear, James, your thoughts on this?
I'm shocked by that, mate. If I'm honest, I was just like, mate, that first 10 seconds of the intro, right? Anybody that's watching, go back and just rewatch that first 10 seconds of the intro. Like, would you, if you didn't know that it was baseball by the way that they were dressed, does it look like a baseball game, or does it look more like a WWF intro Royal Rumble session or something? Do you know what I mean?
I think they have to tart up a bit, don't they?
What is the focus of the... I'll be honest, I've never played it. I've no idea. But what's the focus of the gameplay on that? Is it about baseball, or is it about like customizing characters so that they walk away from like strutting badass and, it's a bit... Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
It's always looked a bit boring, I would have thought, baseball. Especially if you're spectating. To me, it's like cricket. You're just sitting there watching people just hit a ball around the field, running a little bit. Yeah. Looks fucking dull as dishwater to me. So you kind of got to tart it up on a trailer, haven't you? Throw a bit of rap music in there, quick cuts every now and again.
I think that's what it
Makes
is.
It more interesting.
It's bad marketing for a game that actually could be a really good game. I think if you're into baseball, like I could imagine that, John Madden, all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? I could imagine you'd love that kind of game. But just with the way that they've marketed that, like I said, go back and watch that first 10 seconds again of that bloody intro. Do you know what? They'd have done a better job if they'd have made it a game about the guy who sits there drinking as much beer as he could in the crowd. Do you know what I mean?
It's like 2 hot dogs. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me that game. Give me that game. I'll play that game.
Yeah. Chelsea, thank you so much for watching. Good night. Have a good night. Thanks for popping in. Greatly appreciate it. Funny enough, Discord, as mentioned, other Game Pass games literally just announced today. Destroy All Humans. They did a remake last year of that. That's coming to Game Pass. And Second Extinction, which rings a bell, but I can't think what that is.
That's like a co-op sort of dinosaur type shooter. I think.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that.
It was shown a while back at one of the, I can't remember if it was an Xbox event or not. Probably was. One of their events. It looked interesting, but I haven't seen anything else of it since then.
That's right. It was on their first showcase in August, wasn't it, for the Series X? So that's a brand new game that's coming out. Oh, I do remember that now. The name doesn't ring a bell, but okay, that's good to know. Thank you, Discord. I'll probably play both of those. I have to say, Destroy All Humans is great fun, and I did see the remaster last year. And it looked just as good fun, so I would give that a whirl. So there you go. Something I don't normally do, a little commercial break. Discord mentioned this earlier in the chat. I don't normally do commercial breaks during the chat show, but what the hell? It's my show. I can do what I want. So first thing is, some of you may know that we have people who have VIP status in this community, in this group, and it gives you lots of bonuses and things. Our next VIP stream is this coming Sunday, and you got to vote which cross-platform game you wanted to play. We've already done Rocket League. We've done Dead by Daylight. We did Heavy Metal Machines. Call of Duty Warzone has won it. So for all the VIPs, download Call of Duty Warzone. It's free, cross-platform. Get it, because we are playing that on Sunday night, folks. So if you're a VIP, there's 30 VIPs in this group. We are playing that. And then votes for the next couple of games for next month will be going. Lukalele, great to see you. Thank you so much for the show love bits. Thank you. Greatly appreciated. Luke's hopefully going to be on a future show. He's got to talk to his people. I've got to talk to my people, etc., etc. Hopefully we'll get him on a show. But Luke, thank you very much for that, for being here. Appreciate that. Something else we're going to talk about is there's also another vote for people who are in our Discord, not just VIPs. Discord, if you can put a link to the Discord, if that makes sense. We have got 2 games that we've been playing a long time that are finishing. So there are 8 games that you can choose from and what you want me to stream. There's a whole host. And you can vote for 2 of the 8. And whatever wins by the end of the week, I will start streaming them next week. So have a look. There's a mixture of horror, action, and some puzzle games. So have a look, and you get a say. The community gets a say in what they want to do. And also, we've got a brand new trailer for the merch, and it literally landed today. So thank you to Pixie Star. I'm literally going to play a minute. So buy my shit, people. Here we go. That's enough of that shit. You get the idea. Buy my stuff. There you go. There's a load of stuff. Paul Newton says I want to buy a Mojo mug, so that's all cool. So that's all good. And Luke, yeah, it'd be great to get you on the show, dude. It'd be great to get you on the show. So there you go. A little bit more news. Good talking about two games that got updates. I bet you can guess what the first one we're going to talk about is. And Mia, if you're watching, you can put your fingers in your ears for the next few minutes. We are going to talk about Cyberpunk. The 1.21 patch came out last week. This was basically the patch to fix the patch that fucked more things that were supposed to fix things. Love your CD Projekt Red. Yeah, that's. I have to be honest. It was a 28 gig patch. The original patch before it was 40 gigs. There was a lot of unknown surprises with that, especially the bit where you could be playing it and you could be stuck in a sandstorm permanently.
No.
But I have to say, after playing it last night, first time in a long time, I did not have any bugs, any major bugs or minor bugs during the 3 to 4 hour playthrough I did last night. So they are starting to fix stuff. However, the big question is PlayStation, Sony are still refusing to sell the game because they know that CD Projekt Red are still well behind with the updates they were supposed to have finished getting out by March to fix the game. But they've said it's a step in the right direction to us finally releasing the game. So I'll start with Dave. Did you have a tinker on it after the update came out?
Yeah, I played a few hours on it the other day, and I can't recall any bugs coming up. No show-stopping ones, at least. Anyway, could have been the odd little graphical one with pedestrians disappearing, but it was nothing ridiculous. It was playing fine. I still think it's an enjoyable game. It's not, quite what we were expecting after all the hype, is it? I don't think it was ever going to meet that hype. But it's playing all right. It's enjoyable enough. It'd be nice to see what they do going forward now with all the extra patches, all the DLCs they're planning. If they sort of bring it more in line with what was in all our heads after all those trailers, all that talk they did. Yeah,
it's I'm kind of relieved. It's really weird. I said last night, over 60 hours I've put in on those Monday night streams of Cyberpunk. Bearing in mind, they said that the main campaign was only 20 hours and the side missions should only be 20 hours. I still didn't finish all the side missions. There was still stuff left open. And I just thought, no, I've got to that point where it says, if you go past this, you can't go back. I was like, do you know what? I'm having enough of this. Let's just finish it. And apparently there's 5 different endings. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but apparently I did get the happy ending, which I was quite happy about because, to be honest, after playing it for that long, if I got the ending where I got fucked over, I would have been really pissed off. So I've said, look, when the DLCs come out, we don't know. They've said summer. We don't know if that's going to be true. I will play it again, but just for the DLCs. And then when they finally do the Series X and PlayStation 5 version, I will start it from the beginning and do a brand new playthrough because it would have been the game we were supposed to get last year. James, I'm going to ask your thoughts on Cyberpunk and this whole fucking mess.
Do you know what? Actually, I've held back on this one. Yeah, I've totally held back on this one. I think the early warning signs were there as well when there was already delays in development and that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? And the release date was pushed back and everything else. But yeah, Cyberpunk, I think I've not touched it, so I don't know. And I've tried to limit what I've seen of it online. Yeah. It's not been good, obviously. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of negative feedback, especially about some of the graphical content and stuff, and a lot of these bugs that people are getting caught up. But like you, mate, I will play it. Probably when I upgrade my console and get a Series X or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then next year, something like that, when it's smoothed out, I'll hit it and probably have a great experience, contrary to everybody else that's played it. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
I think you're not the first person who said that, and I think you are doing the sensible thing. That's all I'm going to say.
It'll be the first time I've been sensible, mate. So
there's a couple of people. The Gamers, Geeks and Nerds Facebook group thing in there. Yeah. I think Stephen Johnson has literally bought a copy. And he said, I was going to wait, but I have a go. But he said, I had a little dabble with it and it was all right. And he said, but I am going to still wait. I just wanted to get my copy and just like,
yes.
And I said again, I think you've done the sensible thing. So
I've got to play it. I've got to play it. I was a massive fan of Witcher 3. Witcher 3. You know what I mean? So I can't stay away from this. There's been so much hype for a reason. I genuinely think it was just, I think maybe they rushed it. They had too much to do. Clearly, and it just got rushed a little bit or whatever. And, unfortunately, that can absolutely flatten, when people's expectations have been up there, it can just destroy a game completely. So I'm hoping that by the time the hype's died down and everything, then I'll be playing. It'll become a nostalgia game for me in 20, 30 years' time, mate. Yeah.
This is the thing. Deep down in there is a good game, and I did enjoy it. I just think I just had too many weeks of shite happening in it, and it just ground me down. And I was just happy to finish it in the end, which is a shame because you don't want to be going like, yeah, I really enjoyed that. I want to go back and play it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to touch this for like another 8 months. Which is sad, really. But it is what it is. And then the other game that got a big update, which literally only came out a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about this on the show, Outriders. Or as I like to call it, Gears of 5 with magic powers, Gears of War 5. But it had a new update also last week. Did I get a date for that? That was on the 15th. That got an update on the 15th. And the biggest thing that people were a bit pissed off about that game is that sometimes your inventory would get wiped. Considering you built up all those skills and all those weapons and all those guns to get wiped, and it was the biggest. They have fixed that. There's still the odd server crash and odd thing, but they've reported after that chaotic weekend, Easter weekend, where everyone tried to play it and it was just unplayable. It has been getting better. So Square Enix have been doing a good job. So I reckon in probably one more patch, you'll probably get this sorted out. But, we had a few little bugs when we streamed it on the show. But I think they'll have that sorted very soon. Outriders, Dave, have you played any more of it?
Yeah, I played another few hours of it on Sunday. Didn't have any noticeable bugs during the gameplay. What we did have, because it was my friend's game I joined, between the previous Sunday and Sunday just gone, he'd joined a couple of the co-op sessions. I think he'd end up playing the solar array mission a number of times over and over with other people. But when we came to play again on Sunday and I joined his game, it had kind of forgotten part of our progress from the previous Sunday. We hadn't gotten hugely far in the game. We got past that solar array boss, got to the first city, done a couple of things in there. Yeah. But when we started on Sunday, we were starting again from that solar array mission. We didn't seem to have any way to go back to where we got to. So we spent the first couple of hours redoing stuff we'd done the previous week. Yeah. So I don't know if we'd missed something, if he needed to set his game to set him to the right story point before I joined. If there was, it certainly wasn't obvious. So we just ended up redoing a bit of it. Got more stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's okay. Discord and me had a similar thing when we streamed it. We've only done one stream of this. It's something we are going to stream further down the line. But I'd done a mission and it was like, right, you do that mission and then we'll join the game. And then I think I got kicked out of the game and I came back in and joined their game. And then we had to redo the old bloody mission again, which was slightly annoying. But yeah, you can set story points now, which apparently make it a lot easier. So that shouldn't cock things up. But again, as Discord just said a minute ago, he's been playing it 8 o'clock. I think that it's sorting itself out now. It's a game that's not going to have too many issues. James, have you seen any of the hype about Outriders and fancy playing it?
Tiny bits, mate. Tiny bits. Probably one of those that's on the sidelines for me, if you know what I mean. Like, you know, it's one that if I happen to have a copy and it was sat there, yeah, I'd play it definitely. But you know, just some interesting something you said about the bug fix. If that was Call of Duty, mate, bearing in mind I'm a big Call of Duty head. If it was a case of inventory being wiped out after you'd been collecting it, I think I'd be replacing my TV, my console, my controller, and the game. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, that definitely wouldn't be good in my household, mate.
I'd say wait a couple of weeks to play this then, because it is free on Game Pass, which is great.
Is it? Brilliant.
Yeah. Do you know what? Hello, Permadrunk, by the way. Permadrunk's here. That's a good, actually, it's more like the Division 2, seeing as changing the difficulty only beefs up the enemies. That's a good point. I never considered that. We'll get stale quickly without constant content. No, that's, again, also a fair point. But yeah, I played a little bit. All right, then. It's Gears of War mixed with Division 2, then. That's probably the best way to describe it. Now, I love Division 2, and I'm kind of like, meh about Gears. I play Gears, but it's never been my favourite thing. But I play it and I enjoy it. So yeah, give it a try. But again, on Xbox, free of charge, folks. There you go. Right, let's talk some more games. We're going to talk something very different now. This is a game that's come out on PSVR and also Oculus. Literally came out today. Check this out. This is a puzzle game called Mask Maker. It sounds like you basically make masks. Well, funnily enough, you do. But there's a lot more to it than that. Let's check out the trailer. Let us know your thoughts. This is Mask Maker.
Once there was an old mask maker, the last master of a magical trade.
You're in my realm. Yes, I know all about the whispering voices trapped in the towers. Ignore them. Keep your mind on your apprenticeship.
Reach the other 2 towers. Speak to my siblings. Learn the truth. And do not trust the king.
There you go. Short and sweet trailer, but pretty much says what you need to know. Mask Maker, a puzzle game where you have to make the masks, which then transport you to a world where you need to find the other people there that they've sent you to go and collect and solve the puzzles. Out now today on PSVR and Oculus and all other VR devices. Dave, your thoughts on this one?
Just from what was in that trailer, it looked like it could be an interesting puzzle game. But I always think it's a hard sell for VR and those sorts of trailers because you've got no idea how it feels to be in there just looking at the flat 2D trailer. When you've actually got the headset on, you're playing these things, pick yourself up, interacting with it. Yeah, it can really elevate those sort of games. What might look average in the trailer can actually be really good once you're in the VR playing it. So I might keep my eyes open for that one because I do like puzzle games in VR. They are good fun. Yeah. So I'll have a look, see what the reviews are like.
Okay. James, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I've not really done too much of these VR type games, to be honest. I've not really got into that, which inevitably at some point, I know gaming's going that way, but I've not really crossed that barrier just yet. So it's still quite I think the point that Dave made there is really interesting. When you look at the trailer of these things, you know, you look at that side by side with, you know, some of the modern day console graphics and you just think, God, we're going back to the 90s or something. Do you know what I mean? With a bit of this VR stuff. But actually, I can imagine it's totally different when you put it on and you're actually immersed in the experience. Certainly from a gameplay point of view, it's got a bit of an interesting spin. I don't think I've ever seen any kind of concept like that before. So yeah, it'd be one again. You know, it'd be interesting to have a little dabble, give it a go or whatever. But it'd be a lot of expense to get the setup for me.
Yeah, same here. I haven't got any kit for that, but I know Dave has because it's Dave. So
well, that is just
that side
because that is on Oculus. You can just buy just the headset. You don't need anything else.
He knows.
Come on then, Dave. What are these things actually? I'm interested now. Just on this point, while we're here, if we've got time, what like when you look at the trailer and, like you say, you go into that whole experience with the VR. Am I right? Is it totally different?
Oh yeah, it feels completely different because you're there in the world. Everywhere you look, it's the world is around you. It feels completely different than sitting and looking at a screen because you get a proper sense of scale as well. It's like you could play Half-Life 2 on your screen. You don't really get a sense of how big enemies are, but once you go into, say, Half-Life Alyx, you come up against one of the Striders, they're bloody huge. You're looking up at the things.
Amazing. Yeah.
They just add something extra with all the interactivity they put in there. Like you're actually physically cocking your gun, reloading it. It's really good. So it can be expensive to get into, especially on the PC side. But if you just buy, say, just the Oculus headset, you can get games that just go on that and run on that, and that's all you need.
I think it's one of the. What was that film that they brought out a little while back? I keep thinking Ender's Game, but it's not Ender's Game. It's the other one where they go in the VR world.
Oh, I think Ready Player One.
Ready Player One. Yeah, the Spielberg one. Yeah. So inevitably, it's going to end up going that way, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's why I'm waiting for them to bring that game out, by the way, and then I'll be all over VR. Yeah.
Well, if I get to drive the Back to the Future car, I'll be sold on that as well.
That's it. Yeah, mate. I'd be in. I'd sell everything that I've got. I'd sell my arcade machine. I'd be in.
What do we reckon this got score-wise?
I'm going to go with 7 again. You said
Okay.
7 for most things. Let's go with 7 again.
I did. Yeah. James, what do you reckon?
Yeah. No, I'm going to go off the 7. I'm going to go back with a 6 again. One of these has got to be off a 7, hasn't it?
Okay. What do we reckon in the chat? What do we reckon? Get your scores. Lady Red says 7 out of 10. Lady Red also says, I really like the look of these VR games, but sadly I would get motion sickness, which is not so good. I might be the same. I know people who can do it, but can't. So, right, everyone's going for a 7 out of 10. James is going for a 6. It's our highest scoring game of this week. It got an 8 out of 10, folks.
Wow.
So this is our best scoring game of the week. Again, great narrative, great fun to play, great little puzzles, and something that's not been done before with the sort of style that you build the masks, you have the instructions to paint them and do it, and then go off into the world wearing it, and it gives you different powers of stuff. So yeah, check it out. PSVR Oculus came out today. Gets a solid 8 out of 10. Now for something a bit different, bit more back to the old JRPG day. We had a couple of weeks off them. We thought we were going to get away from it. But we got another one. This has come out Tuesday last week, actually. So when we were doing the last talk show. So this one escaped me by. This is a game called Poison Control. Oh, we've lost James for a second there. Are you still with us, fella?
I am, mate. Yeah, it just looks like I'm having some technical difficulty here.
Isn't it? And backwards as well, which is quite cool. But we'll keep you there, don't worry. As long as we can hear you, that's fine. So we'll run the trailer for this one. This is called Poison Control. Came out Tuesday last week. Is only on PlayStation 4. Let's have a look at this, and we'll get right back to you after this.
これが天国の扉。どうするか決めたよ。お仕置きしちゃう？いいね、やっちゃえ！生の体だ！やばー！なんじゃこりゃー！やった！私の出番！これがステッカー！これはね、5枚集めると天国に行けるっていう最強アイテムなの。これがこの子の絶望のイメージ。
There you go, Poison Control, which came out last week. Lady Red's right in there. Lady Red seems to know some of. She's up on her JRPGs. Is Lady Red 7 out of 10? She's saying. So yeah, JRPGs. very similar to the vein of games like Persona in the style. If you've seen Persona, we talked about Persona Strikers a couple of weeks ago on this channel, and I think if Pixie's still in the chat, she might be. Pixie loves playing Persona. She streams that a lot. I'm not going to lie, not my cup of tea. Again, I probably wouldn't play this. James, I'm going to go with you first on this one. Your thoughts on it?
I'm exactly the same as you, mate. It's not.
Oh,
sadly, it's not any kind of attraction for me. You not hear my sound?
Oh,
yeah. Can you hear me?
Got you. Yeah, it's all right. For some reason, I didn't have you. You're good now.
Yeah, mate. I'm exactly the same as you. I mean, I hate to say it, but there's very little attraction there for me, if I'm honest. Not really sure what the game is or what it's about or anything. But yeah, it's probably one that I'd steer clear of if I had the choice. Sorry.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. Dave, your thoughts?
The trailer didn't grab me either. I can't say I was particularly that taken with the graphical style, the colours of it, or the bits of gameplay that we saw. From what I was just reading about it, sounds like it's more of a sort of third-person shooter type game. But then you saw those sort of almost isometric sort of top-down bits where they were running around doing something. I guess they were controlling the poison. That's all I can guess from that. But no, not for me. I'm going to guess a 7 though.
Okay, you're going to guess a 7. James, what are you guessing?
He's a smart man, and he's a smart man. Every time I've gone away from a 7, I've lost, haven't I? So let's go back 7. Let's do it. Let's go.
Okay. I bet you're glad you did that because it gets a 6 out of 10.
Oh.
Yeah, 6 out of 10. They said, it's a good game. It's not a great game. There are other games very similar to that do it a lot better. But if you love that style of game, it's worth picking up on your PlayStation 4. So there you go. That came out Tuesday last week. That's Poison Control on PS4. Talking of PlayStation, more PlayStation stuff. If you read the footnotes, I'm going to ask the chat about this. What do you think PlayStation has just won, or what's the thing that it's just got announced in America? So that's my question. Now, Dave and James might have picked up on this because I stupidly put it in the footnotes and give it away. But what do you reckon I'm talking about? What did PlayStation get this month? Looks like Dave's Googling my email.
He's off to go.
He's always scanning across the screen.
I'll keep it on screen to remind myself what we're talking about. So yeah, it's like fastest selling console in America.
That is correct. James, what would you have said?
Mate, I was hovering on it, but my actions weren't smooth enough, mate. Do you know what I mean? So I was looking back for your email. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, fastest selling. I mean, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. So even with the shortages, it has actually become the fastest selling console in America ever, which is pretty outstanding. However, we talked about, I think it was 2 months ago, we talked about this. What was the best selling game of the month? And I'm going to drop this one in again. What do we think was the best selling game overall, and not just in America, overall for March?
I'm trying to remember what came out last month. What did we talk about?
Best selling game.
It have to be a game that came out that month. That's what I'll tell you that now.
Oh, is it going to be? Was it the Mario 3D All Stars?
Nope,
not that one.
James, you want to have a guess?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, mate. I'm trying to think. Is it? But you see, you're spinning me out here because you're saying it wasn't released in March, so that implies it's an older one.
Mm-hmm.
But then that could be like this 7 thing. If I go too far off, it could actually be. You know what I mean?
It's still classed as a new game. Put it that way.
All right, it's still a new game.
It's less than a year old.
Less than a year old. Do you know what? I'm gonna step out and go in. Is it the Cold War? Is it the Call of Duty Cold War?
Correct.
Is it
Call of Duty Cold War? For
Amazing.
the second month on the track is the biggest selling game. It was the biggest selling game in January, I think, maybe, or February. And again, so yeah, it's sold really well.
I think that's just testament to the number of like how well they've done with that franchise. They've almost created, you know, if you look back at music, for example, what the Beatles did to music, I think Call of Duty's kind of done the same thing with gaming, hasn't it? Do you know what I mean? Because it's such a big franchise now, you know. It's almost like the Apple stores. Year after year, they've got people queuing up to get the games. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me.
But there we go. We'll do another one next month, and we'll see if Call of Duty's still hanging in there. I'll be honest, I don't think it's going to get much competition, to be honest.
Really?
But there are some big name games coming out next month, but I don't think there's going to be an issue. Hello, Luma. Long time no see. We've not seen you for a long time. Welcome back. So Call of Duty Cold War is the best-selling game of March. No worries, Luma. No worries. Sorry to hear that, but great to have you back. So we're going to talk one more game. And when I saw the name for this game, I was like, what the hell is this? This came out last Thursday. But when you see the trailer, it makes sense. This is Stichy. I'm not making this shit up. I always get games with dodgy titles. Stichy in Tooki Trouble. We don't know what that means, but you'll watch the trailer and this will make sense. So here we go. Stichy in Tooki Trouble. Here goes. There you go, folks. That is Stichy in Tooki Trouble, which is out on Nintendo Switch. Literally came out last Thursday. So it's pretty much a platform game, to be honest. Dave?
I should say, another platform game. From looking at it, it reminds me a little bit of the Donkey Kong Country games, with some of the stuff that it had. You know, it was doing like the minecart in there. I think someone else spotted that as well.
Yeah.
And I think there was bits where you jumped into like a barrel or something and it shut you off somewhere, same as Donkey Kong. So it just looks like a bit of a rip-off of that. Whether it's any good, who knows? I couldn't tell a huge amount from the trailer. It looked okay. I mean, it just depends how good the platforming is, how good the level design is. That's what will make or break it, really, for most people. Wouldn't say it's a particularly appealing character either. It's a scarecrow.
It's not really a child-friendly one or anything, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's not quite like your Donkey Kong was or whatever. Oh, mind you, that one.
That was lovable.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. I mean, we've seen it so many times, so many copies of these kind of games as well. Do you know what I mean? That I've seen over the years, but bit of an odd one, bit of an odd character, really, as well, to introduce into a game.
Yeah. Scarecrow.
There you go. Do you know what? I'd summarise that as that's the kind of game I'd probably try and get away with playing while I was at work.
Okay, yeah. I like that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Something that you don't really care about, but it will while away some hours.
Yeah. It's going to waste a bit of time, do you know what I mean? So if you've got, you got something that you just want to distract yourself with or something like that while you're sat in the office and you're pretending to work away, get that loaded up on your computer.
Right, there you go. Ladies and gents, it's official. If you've got a Switch, take it to work and play that and don't do anything else. James says it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Don't worry.
It's fine. If you
get sacked, though, we cannot be held responsible. Disclaimer, folks. That's your own problem. You take out of this one. There you go. So,
you know what I mean, though, yeah? You used to sit, once upon a time, we used to sit on, like, what was it, Mousebreaker or something, mousebreaker.com or something like that. You know, it's kind of one of them games, isn't it?
Definitely. What do we reckon this got? Lady Red's already guessed a 6.
I'm going to go lower.
Oh, okay. What do you reckon?
I'll go 5 on that. I'll go 5 on that one.
Go 5. Dave?
I'm going to stick with the 7.
You
See if we get that again for the last one.
I should have stick with the 7. I always get it wrong when I veer away.
No, you shouldn't have stuck with a 7 because it got 6 out of 10.
Oh.
Same as the last one. It's an okay game.
Yeah.
But it's nothing new. But it will basically do what all platforms do, keep you entertained for a couple of hours. So there you go. That's all I can really say about it. So just a very quick recap of what we talked about tonight, games-wise, before we move on to the next part of the show. Rain on Your Parade, 7 out of 10. Night Squad 2, 7 out of 10. I should have said what these are out for. Rain on Your Parade, out on PC, Xbox and Switch, Thursday last week, 7 out of 10. Night Squad 2 on Xbox and PC, came out last Wednesday, 7 out of 10. Enlisted beta version out now for Xbox and PlayStation coming soon. No rating because it's not officially out yet. Pac Man 99 on Switch came out on Wednesday, 7 out of 10. Sag Frontier Remastered on PS4, Switch and PC came out last Thursday, 7 out of 10. See how we're going. MLB The Show 21, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and Xbox One out today, 7 out of 10. Mask Maker on PSVR and Oculus came out today, 8 out of 10. Poison Control on PS4 out last Tuesday, 6 out of 10. And Stitchy in Tooki Trouble, 6 out of 10, came out on the Switch last Thursday. Those are our games review. We'll have more games for you next week. However, a couple of things we're going to do. A little last news story of the night before we move on to what we're going to talk about is more PlayStation news. So a couple of weeks ago, me and Dave talked about the fact that PlayStation turned around and said, we are closing the PS3 store, the PSP Vista store and PSP store because no one is buying games anymore. And the whole PlayStation community went up in uproar. Absolutely cheesed off about it. So much so, Sony have done a U-turn and gone, all right, we're not doing it. We're going to keep the stores open across all 3 platforms. Dave, James, your thoughts? Just go with it. Do you think that's obviously got to be a good thing for people who want nostalgia?
Yeah, defo. I mean, it's a good thing from that point of view. Yeah, I mean, it's never good when a company does a U-turn, is it? It's never good because, you know, what you want is you want to see some good, solid sort of leadership and guidance on stuff. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't know whether that will prove to be a good move or not. Clearly, obviously, people have strong opinions on it, which is why they've had the backlash. So, you know.
I think this is thing. Xbox did a similar thing earlier in the year. And again, we talked about this where they announced they were scrapping live or games with gold.
It was a price increase, I think, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, sorry. They were going to price increase and it would make it more expensive than Ultimate, that if you get Ultimate, you get it anyway, which made no sense. And in the end, they were like, they got so much flack for it. Within 24 hours, they scrapped that idea.
Yeah.
Except they are changing the names and stuff, which is whatever. But there you go. Zenkai. Hello, Zenkai. Great to see you. Says, I still have my PS3 and when I go into the store, I can barely navigate through it. Well, hopefully they might sort it out. Who knows?
Unlikely, isn't it? It's unlikely. Backtracking sort of, you know, that far or whatever. But
just keep it open, basically. Keep it running.
Yeah, it's probably a bit of good PR for them, isn't it, to keep it running?
Yeah. Lady Red said never used the PS3 store. That's interesting.
You probably find none of those stores are really making them any money, but because everyone's shouted up and probably perhaps more than they were expecting, they thought a good PR move, keep it all going. But then it'd be interesting to see how many of these people who shouted up will actually go and buy anything from there, or if they just want it kept open to download some stuff. Because I think Eurogamer did an article showing some gems that were going to be missing from the store when they went. And I thought the stuff that they were talking about there looked crap, stuff you'd never even heard of. It's just things that were digital only.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything special.
people were worried that they were going to lose certain files and games. Is so it is what it is.
Do you know what? Just a point on that, and I'm a nostalgia guy as well. Yeah, but actually, how often do we actually go sort of that far back though to pick up a game to actually play it? Like, when was the last time you picked up a PS3 game and went back to the PS3 or something?
No, it's pretty rare. I mean, Xbox keep bringing more and more stuff on their back compatible list, don't they?
Yeah.
So the original Xbox stuff, I can't actually say I've played any of them. I think the only thing I'm still playing from back then is Halo every once in a while.
PlayStation remaster a lot of their stuff.
Yeah.
So
maybe it's just a lot of smoke and noise over nothing, really.
It could be. It could be just a ploy just to get them more publicity. You never know. We'll have to see. That's it for all the news this week. But before we go, we've got about just under 15 minutes left of the show. Want to play a little game with the chat and my guests, and obviously Dave this week. So came across an interesting article. Halo's not my fave. We're not talking about Halo. That can go. 18 games. We talked about a load of games at the start of the year. 36 games Dave and me went through over 2 episodes of this show. All the big AAA games that are coming this year. Within 2 weeks, most of them were literally already postponed. But we've got 18 games here that have been postponed. And I'm going to play a little game. I'm going to mention the game, talk a little bit about what platform it was and the type of game it is. And then I'll let you know whether it's been postponed to this year, and I want the specific month, or what year has it been postponed to. That's the game we're going to play. There's no prizes. It's just for fun, a bit of a laugh. Now, the first one should be easy for Dave, because we were looking forward to this game, and it was due out next month, which was the arcane game Deathloop, which was coming out on PS5 and PC. What month this year do we think is it coming out? Now, I think Dave will get this, so I won't let Dave answer yet, but I'll let James have a go. What do you think? It's been postponed to later this year, but what month do you think?
I mean, the best time, everybody knows the best time to release is going to be around about November time, coming into the Christmas sales, isn't it? I would say that they're going to go somewhere. The problem they've got, as we all know, is that the big franchises know that that's the release date. Yeah. I think they'll go just a little bit earlier. Let's go September, when the kids are returning to school or whatever, and that sort of thing. I'm going to go September.
Okay. Dave?
It's September for this one.
Yeah, it's September the 14th. You hit the nail on the head. Luma guessed November the 6th. Sorry, mate. Not on that one. September the 14th for Deathloop. They basically put out a statement saying that they wanted the game to be better, and the fact they very much want to keep the welfare of their staff. So they don't want to put them to... They thought it was too much pressure to the game, get the game out next month. So there you go. Big Friendly Viking, hello. We're talking about 18 games that have been postponed this year. I'm going to tell you what they are, and we're getting people to guess in the chat, and our guests to guess when it's been postponed to, just for a bit of fun. Here's a new one. The new Lego Star Wars game. So this was due out this year. This is a bit of a trick question, I'm going to tell you now. What year do we think they've announced for the new Lego Star Wars game to be postponed to? And I'm telling you now, it's a trick question.
But it's got to be 2021 if it's a trick question, then, isn't it?
Okay. Dave, what do you say?
I think I guess the same if you're saying it's a trick question.
Okay.
I can't see how next year or the year after will be a trick.
Zenkai has said, I pre-ordered this game. So what do you want to guess, Zenkai, when you might actually get that game? Big Friendly Viking says 2024. Luma says 2023. I just want to see what Zenkai says, because if he's putting a pre-order, I'm very intrigued. Lady Red says 2022. Luma's gone up 2035.
As a hell of a pre-order.
Yeah. Zenkai says I'm going to guess 2021. Well, here's the bit of the kick in the nuts. They haven't given a date.
Wow.
They've basically removed any dates and said, we can't give you any official dates yet. So take of that what you will. So that's an interesting one. Another game that was out due this year, big PS5 exclusive, Gran Turismo 7. What year do we think that has been postponed back to?
2022.
Okay,
yeah,
James?
I'm going 2022 with Dave on this one.
Yeah, Big Friendly Viking says sad of them to cancel the date. I know, but that is a bit worrying. Anyone else reckon? Zenkai says 2022 for Gran Turismo 7. Correct, 2022. Exactly. So that we expect that next year. Riders Republic, which was supposed to be a game that was out in February by Ubisoft, was the extreme sports game with skiing, mad biking, windsuits, everything. We played the trailer for this on the show. When do we think this is out this year? And all I'm going to say is they're only going by quarter. So do we think this is coming out in spring, autumn, or winter?
So it's not summer then?
Yeah, I missed summer, didn't I?
Skipped an entire season out there.
I missed the entire season. That's actually, yeah. Do we think it's spring? Because we literally have got a month left. We've got May. Do we think it's summer, autumn? Yeah, I'm shit at this myself, and I've got the answers. What do you reckon? Big Friendly Viking says December.
I'll go for summer. So I think it will probably get lost in the later quarters,
Right.
autumn and winter, because you've got all your big franchises there.
Yeah, I'm going with Dave on this one. I'm going to go in the next few months as well.
Okay, next few months. It's coming out in winter.
It is,
wow.
okay.
In late December 2021. That's due to come out. Zenkai said September, so it's the closest. Big Friendly Viking hits the nail on the head. Lord of the Rings Gollum, which was due out this year. What year do you think that's been pushed back to?
I think that's next year.
Okay. James?
Yeah, I'm hard pressed to see what the excuses would be for them to push it back to 2023, 2024, because that's a long delay, is that, isn't it? 2022, it's got to be, next year.
2022, correct, for Lord of the Rings Gollum. It is a good one. This is hilarious, this one. A game that was due out in January this year, PS5 exclusive, shooter game called Returnal, is out this year, but which month?
It's supposed to go out soon, isn't it? Is that in May?
You're going for May, James?
We've got to have one coming out in the summer, haven't we, at least? I'm going to go June, ready for the summer holidays.
Okay, June, ready for summer holidays. Okay, people are going like, Lady Red's like, last month, Big Friendly Viking. Well, I could tell you, it comes out Friday next week. There you go. Kena and the Bridge of Spirits, which is a PS and PC game, which was due out in spring. What month this year do we think that's going to be?
Probably summer, I think, for this one. June.
Okay, you're going for June. James?
I'm going to stick with it. Yeah, I'm going to stick with it. Someone here is releasing a game in time for summer holidays. They've got to be.
Okay. So you're going with June, yeah?
Oh, you're making me second guess. July. I'll go July now.
You'll go July.
I'm going July.
Senpai says autumn. Paul Newton says August. Paul Newton was right. August the 24th is the date for that.
Well done, Paul.
Yeah.
A game that we talked about on this channel with Chris Dawes, Dave, and you know that we didn't give a fuck about this game. Prince of Persia remake, which we heard earlier this year, has been postponed for PC and PlayStation. What do you think has happened to this game? Or what date do you think they have given?
I've heard nothing else about it, so I don't think it's got a date. It's going to be my guess.
Okay, James.
Do you know what? I'm gonna go out on a bit of a limb here and say that this has been pushed back a little way. So 2023.
Okay. No official date. They have removed all dates from the game.
Again? Wow.
Yeah. So that's another one. I will tell you now, there's no more that are like that now. So the rest of you. So here we go. Hogwarts Legacy, the game-based prequel before Harry Potter. What year do we think that will be pushed back to? That was due to come out early this year.
Believe that's next year.
Okay. Zenkai says 2022. What do you reckon, James?
Back end of this year. Let's say back end of the. I'll guess back end of this year.
Okay. No, 2022. There you go for Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. Some superhero games. Gotham Knights was due to come out this year. What year has that been pushed back to?
I think that's next year as well.
I was expecting me and Dave to swap then, as we've been doing. Yeah, I'm going to go 2022 on this one as well.
Okay. Zenkai says 2022, and you'd be right. It's 2022. And also, hot on its heels, Suicide Squad game. Suicide Squad versus DC, which we've also played the trailer for. What year?
2023, I think.
Okay. James?
I'll be sticking with the 22 again.
You'd be right. They're pushing for late 2022 for that one.
Okay.
One game that's caused a lot of controversy, which was supposed to be out last year, then was told that it was due out this year, has now been postponed to what year? It's Vampire the Masquerade's Bloodlines 2, which is going to be on Xbox, PS5, and PC. What year do we reckon?
I'm going to go 24. I'm going.
Okay. Dave is right, 2022. However, it is now got its third gaming house working on it because there's been so many problems. So I wouldn't be surprised if it gets pushed back even further. So it's like, ouch. So watch this space on that one.
Refer back to this next year when it gets delayed to 2024.
Yeah. And then we'll go, James is right. Yeah, 10 points. We talked about this just a couple of weeks ago. Games that got forgotten about and didn't hear anything, and then they've just resurfaced. Dying Light 2 on PS, PC, and Xbox. What year?
I think they're aiming for next year, aren't they?
James?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 22.
Okay. Yes, they are aiming for 2022. Techland has been getting a lot of shit, and there's been a lot of problems with Techland recently, which you won't get. If you want to have a look online, there's a lot of shit going on. That game was supposed to be out like 2019. No, not 2019. Sorry, 2020. So it looks like it's going to be 2022. Arcade action game, beat 'em up, Guilty Gear Strive for PS5, Xbox, and PC. Coming out this year, but when?
I'll go September. That's a kind of coming into the winter kind of game, is that, isn't it?
I'll try November.
Trying for November. Anyone else? I like that. When you try and raid Demon Angel, bless you. When you try and raid a channel, but only type middle-aged gamer, so send your viewers to a dead channel. Bless you. I don't mind. It's cool. The thought that counts. It's absolutely fine. It's all good. It's all good. We are trying to guess games that have been delayed. I'm telling you what game it is, and you've got to guess when it is. So we were talking about Humankind. No, we weren't. Guilty Gear Strive. Whoa, I'm jumping ahead of myself, which is a beat-em-up game. James, you went for September, didn't you?
I went September. Yeah.
And Dave, we went later, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess November.
Okay. June the 11th.
I knew one of them was in June. I just didn't know which one.
I know. Very close. Well, there you go. Right. Humankind, which we would have been reviewing on this show next week, which is a strategy game. Think of Civilization. Out on PC and Stadia. Delayed to when this year?
August.
Okay. James?
I'm going to go November on this one.
Okay. 17th of August.
Ooh.
So only a couple of months, but it was due to come out Friday next week, which is interesting enough. Big Friendly Viking yesterday. Well, it's close because it was due to come out in the next 7 days. One that we were very much looking forward to, and I know Dave and me were looking forward to this, on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Back 4 Blood, which is supposed to be the successor to Left 4 Dead. When this year has it been postponed to?
I think July.
Okay. James?
Let's go early on this one. I'm totally guessing. I'm going to go May next month.
Okay, May next month. Luma says November the 6th. Demon Angel says September. See, I didn't even know this had been postponed, and I was really looking forward to this. 12th of October. That's coming out. Pragmata, a PlayStation, PlayStation, PC, and Xbox exclusive, was showcased at PlayStation's last thing. Haven't seen it since E3. Was the crazy game where it had flying babies and shit, where you're in a spacesuit in the world. We did know this had already got postponed, but what year has this got postponed to, considering it was supposed to be out this year?
I'm going to go 22.
22.
I've got a notion this has got a long delay. I guess 23 for this one.
It is a Capcom game, Zenkai. If that helps. So you're saying 23, Dave. Okay. Any other guesses in the chat? Demon Angel says 2025. Zenkai says probably 2022. 2023. Dave gets it right. That's how far it's been pushed back to. Again, that could be worrying. And our final one, a PC simulator called New World, where you take over colonies and worlds, again, a bit like the Civilization V. Supposed to come out this month, been postponed to what month this year?
August.
Okay, James?
I'll go October this time.
Okay, October. Demon's gone for November. Discord's just an arse. I can see how people are getting bored because I'm already getting bored of this. It's the last one. Get over it, you boring bastard. Zenkai says June. Luma says November the 6th. It is August the 31st, ladies and gents. Thank you, Demon. Thank you for clarifying that. There you go. It's a bit of fun. That's all it is. Here you go. So there you go, folks. 18 games, believe it or not, that have been postponed. Some of them are still making it to this year, but there's a lot that have been pushed back to next year and beyond. And two of them that I would be worried about because there is no release date whatsoever. Before we end the show, folks, as you know, we always like to play a trailer of something interesting, something funny. Yay, Luma, you win. Woo! You got 2 of them right, I think, out of 18, but you win anyway. Have a prize. There you go. No, we cannot talk, Halo. Get out the room. Oh, sorry, you meant Outriders is getting boring, dumbass. Okay, fine. Outriders. I thought you meant what we were doing right now, dude. Fuck's sake. Clarify your bloody statements in the chat, man. I know you're my mod, but for fuck's sake, come on, dude. Sort it out, son. Sort it out. Outriders is getting boring. Okay, fair enough. Exclusive from Discord there. Gonna play a trailer. Demon Angel, you're going to appreciate this. We were talking about this on your stream. Anyone who loves Rick and Morty and loves Rainbow Six Siege, you need to check this shit out. I'm going to play this trailer for this. I think this is amazing. It's not a funny trailer. I just think this deserves a little bit of love. Check this out. The Rick and Morty crossover for Rainbow Six Siege. Here we go, folks. Check this trailer out. There you go, folks. Pickle Rick. It's out now. If you play Rainbow Six, I know Demon Angel does. There you go. Get it? Get it? It's not exactly Rick, obviously, because I don't want to get sued, but they managed to get the likeness of Pickle Rick with the mask on and all the gear. And one of the other aliens. So there you go. It's worth checking out. That is it from us, folks. Thank you to everyone who's been in the chat. Thank you so much for the raids. from Q. Thank you to Luke for the bits. Greatly appreciated. And we are back next week with another Tuesday night gaming show. Check us out. And I am back streaming tomorrow, showing stuff from the Minecraft realms that is from VIP, and then chucking in a bit of Sea of Thieves for good measure. Big thank you to our guest this week, Mr. James Blakeway. Thank you, sir.
No worries. It's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Honestly, talking games. I mean, seriously, I could do this for a job,
mate. It's the best. You got to try it out.
You've got some competition coming your way. I'm going to get hooked up to that thing and live stream on there.
Oh, shit! I'm going to be in trouble.
No, mate, I'm only messing. It's been a pleasure, honestly. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And just so you know, because I forgot to tell you at the beginning, when we shut the show down, don't leave. All right, because we'll have a look at that after. All right. Because we did have that with one guest who went, cheers, good night, shut the show down. He went and we're like, oh, we were going to talk to him. Gone. But there you go. That's it, folks. And thank you to my co-host, as always, Mr. David Jones.
Always a pleasure, mate.
And we will see you same time next week. Thank you to everyone so much. Discord says, if you need a mod, I'm for hire, because apparently I've just sacked him without me knowing, but there you go. So there you go. Cheers, Discord. And we will see you back tomorrow, 9 o'clock, for another stream on Middle Age Gamer Guys channel. Take care and good night. Goodbye.